Welcome everyone. In this video, I'm actually going to be unboxing the prototype for Rising Dragon. Rising Dragon is on Kickstarter right now. We are really proud to say that it funded in 7 minutes and all the stretch goals have been unlocked. We have made some new add-ons available, like the Solitaire expansion that Greg Porter has generously agreed to design for us. So there's still time to back it, and even though the early bird discounts are gone, you're still going to get a discount if you back the game on Kickstarter now. So you haven't missed out on all the good deals. Additionally, if you do back the Kickstarter now, you will also be the first to get your game. We always fulfill Kickstarter backers' orders before we make it available in our web store. So like I said, in this video, I'm unboxing this prototype. I'm also going to go through a couple parts of the rules to explain some of these interesting new units that are part of this game that many of you have asked about. So it should be a little bit more thorough than just an unboxing. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All right, so let's start with the box. This is the same size box. I've taken the components out, so that's why it's a little bit light right now. This is the same size box as Armageddon War, so it's going to fit really well on your shelf. It is a nice big box because we do have those really big maps in here and quite a few counter sheets. So here we go. The front of the box, as many of you guys have seen before, this is an original painting by Peter Robichaud. He also did the painting for O Plan 57. Which is going to be the expansion for Rising Dragon. That is where North Korea actually invades South Korea. Okay, so on the back, we have some more, a big action shot of some counters and dice on the actual map. We have a quick description of the game, and then also what the game includes. I'll go ahead and read that to you guys. You're gonna get 2 mounted 22 by 33 inch full color game boards. You're going to get, actually, so we do need to correct this. Like I said, this is a prototype. It says 4 sheets of gorgeous die-cut 1-inch counters. It is actually going to come with 6. So that's kind of a good mistake. You're getting more than we said you were going to get. You're going to get a full color rule and scenario book, including 16 scenarios, which I will show you guys in just a minute. Player aid cards and 18 custom dice. Greg Porter is the designer of this game. He recommends that it is for ages 14 up. It takes 2 players, and the playing time is 1 to 3 hours, depending on the scenario. So that is the big, beautiful telescoping box that your game is going to come in. All right, so let me go ahead and talk about a little bit what's inside. So this is the prototype, but it is going to give you a great idea of what's going to come in the game. You're going to get 18 dice. As you can see here, they're a custom type of dice. They're not numbered. You have the black die, the red die, and the green die. Red is for, I think black is normal, red's intensive, and green is less. I think the weakest die. I'll go back over that with you guys in the rules in just a second. Here is the rule book. It is beautiful. Look at it. So not only do you get the rules, you're also going to get the scenarios in here. There are 77 pages, which is actually going to go up because this is a prototype and it doesn't contain all the scenarios just yet. So that is going to be even better. I love the way that it is bound, and Thomas did a really good job laying out the art in the rule book as well. So on the back of the rule book, you have kind of a 3rd player aid card here where you have the terrain and the combat reference. I'll go ahead and show you guys the 2 player aid cards. And on the backs, you also have that terrain and combat reference. So there's actually 3 of those terrain and combat reference cards here, including the back of the rule book. On the front of these PACs, you have some references where they break down the counter and then the different parts of the counters. You also, if you're not familiar with this system with Armageddon War and Rising Dragon, we have these really cool action counters that fit underneath the counter. So there's a little flag that sticks out and that tells you the penalty for what you have done. and what they can and cannot, what your units can and cannot do. I'll show you those on the counters, but that's what that's getting into. You get a turn sequence, some movement and terrain, close combat, and fire combat explanation here. So great references in these two PACs here. So before I open these, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys. These are the 6 counter sheets that are coming with the game. Like I said, the back of the box says 4. I think we corrected it on our website. It is a good problem to have that you're actually getting more than we originally said you're going to get. So there are 6 counter sheets. They're going to be wrapped up like this, which is really nice. Keeps the counters from falling out. I'm going to go ahead and open these, and then I'm going to show you guys the different counter sheets. All right, so like I said, these are thick die cut 1-inch counters. I'm going to show you some of the American units and the Taiwanese. Here's some more Taiwanese and Chinese units. Here's Chinese. I want to go ahead and point out that many of these, not only since this game contains combat in a lot of different places, you're going to have urban combat, you're going to have some naval combat, but not in the sense of like ships fighting each other. You're going to have ships that are close to shore that are able to fire and be fired upon. And then you also have these really interesting amphibious units here on this. You can see how they all say amphibious. Here we go. And here we have, like I said, this is a prototype. And then here are those markers that I was telling you about. For those of you who haven't played the system before, these markers are just such a good idea. They fit underneath. So here I'll take out a shaken marker. So they're actually going to go underneath the unit. Let me see if I can make it focus. Maybe not. So the unit's actually going to go on top. Here I'll punch out an infantry unit. So if you haven't seen this before, instead of the shaken marker being placed on top, it's actually going to be placed on the bottom, which is great because you can actually see what the unit is. And it tells you the penalty on the side, and then it also tells you what you can and can't do. So, I mean, no matter what, you're covering up some type of information, but I've always liked this aspect of Armageddon War and Rising Dragon. Okay, so let's talk about these big old maps. So here are the 2 maps folded up, hence why we have such a big box. Like I said, they are 22 by 33 inches. I'm gonna give you guys some bigger shots, but here I'll open up one for you right now. As you can see, they are awesome. They are mounted. Great quality, as you can always expect from us. So like I said, there are 2 of these, and I'm going to actually spread them out and give you guys some better sweeping images of this. So what I want to do now is I want to go ahead and flip to a couple cool spots within the rule book and talk to you guys about some special units that are in Rising Dragon that many people have asked about. So some of these things aren't necessarily new to you, but they might be new to you in regards to wargaming. So something a lot of people have asked about, including my husband, who is way too into drones, is our drones. So they are featured on the cover of Rising Dragon and also featured on the cover of Oplan 5027. And as many people know who have followed current world events, drones are really changing the face of modern warfare. So while drones might not be center to this game, they are incorporated. And I'm just going to go ahead and read you what is in the rules that Greg has. So they're used mostly as support defense. Taiwan's defenders have a large number of disposable micro-drones that are used for enhanced battlefield awareness. While the player, of course, can see everything on the map, A support defense counter lets the people on the ground see everything in the area, so they are better able to avoid enemy fire and can target their own grenade launchers accurately on targets outside of line of sight. Support defense gives the unit carrying it a +1 to their DEF and lets them use their normal red firepower in an indirect fire mode at any range their firepower can reach, with the assumption that they can see all such hexes because of their drones. So obviously drones are being used not only for, munitions and striking with munitions and things like that, but they're also used for recon work. And I think that that's really what is being represented with this game with the drones and support defense. Okay, another interesting aspect to this game are the Robbies. These are the robot infantry units, right? It's going to happen one day. The Robbies. Greg says, the US Mk1 Robbie is a semi-autonomous robot unit, either for reasons of sensor capability, rules of engagement, or politics. They are limited for now to opportunity fire, unless acting at the same time as a human unit of their formation in the same hex. Robbies can also counterfire at owning player's option. A Robbie can be given orders that cause it to exit the hex with its human controller, including move and fire, but cannot act on its own again, except opportunity fire, until a human unit is there to authorize it. There's plenty of other cool stuff in here, like the Scrammer, which represents a man-portable directed EMP weapon. There's also a different type of drone. There's more to the Robbies, so I won't read it all, but I wanted to show you guys what the Robbies had going for them. And then there's also this, it looks like the B-2 bomber. But this is a type of drone as well, and I'm going to read you about this. Smite button. This is the colloquial term for a heavily armed drone used by China. It has characteristics of both an air unit and an artillery barrage. That is, it is placed in the cup of chits, like an off-board artillery chit. When drawn, it is placed on the map in a position of the owning player's choice. Then, up to 3 enemy units capable of firing on it may do so and take an action step for doing so. Those action steps are those admin counters that I showed you. If it survives these attacks, it may then make one attack and is then removed from play. Note that if it takes action steps for being attacked, this simply reduces its firepower rather than stopping the attack. It is destroyed if it takes 1 damage step. And remember that autonomous units can take a damage step on the 3rd hit. Oh, they do take a damage step on the 3rd hit. Action pinned, damage step shaken. While it has no effect on its own actions, the smite button has the keyword autonomous so that it can be effectively targeted by EMP weapons. And then he goes into more about the EMP weapons. So I am not going, battlefield nukes. It's so exciting. But anyway, I don't want to ruin all the surprises for you within Rising Dragon, but I did want to address the drones specifically because a lot of people have asked about those. So I hope that gets you guys excited to play this game. Thank you guys again for watching this video and for your massive support on Kickstarter. You guys were able to unlock a bunch of really cool stuff, including the scenario, the solitaire expansion. So thank you for that. Thank you for your support, as always, of our ideas here at Flying Pig, including some really interesting, edgy, futuristic conflicts like Rising Dragon. There is still time to back the Kickstarter. It is going to be running until December 2nd. So if you haven't pledged and you would like to try and get a discount and get your game earlier than everybody else and get some of those cool stretch goals that we have, you're going to want to go ahead and back now. I will link that in the description below so that you can easily click on it and back it on Kickstarter. Thanks again, as always. See you guys next week.